All right, guys, I want you to imagine a situation. Imagine there's a woman who's loyal. She doesn't cause drama. She cooks dinner every night and always keeps the house clean. But there is a catch. And the catch is she looks like this. Yikes. So, my question for you is, would you want her? I mean, she gives you all the stuff you say you want. You say you want her to cook and clean. You say you don't want drama. You say you don't want loyalty. But the problem is, she looks like a wildebeest. Like, do you want that? Is that a trade off you're willing to make? You see what I'm saying? Or an even better question, are you attracted to her? Even if she did all this stuff for you, would it make you attracted to her? Or would you be like, oh, thanks for the chicken pot pie. Now, like, get on out of here so I can find a hotter chick, right? That would be the attitude. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand women have the same problem because beta men are like fat chicks who cook and clean. These two pictures, it's like same, but different. You know what I mean? Like both of these characters right here are deeply unattractive. And regardless of if they have certain things that might be useful to the opposite sex, it doesn't matter because it doesn't change the core issue, which is that they are not attractive. Okay. You got to understand that women categorize men into one of two groups based on different traits, those being betas and alphas. Everybody's heard this. Beta traits are things that are useful, but they convey low sexual market value and they are turnoffs. So it doesn't matter if the beta guy does something, buys her flowers, does all this shit. He's positioning himself in this very submissive, low value way that is deeply unattractive to the woman. And there's just nothing he can do about it by being a nice guy and all this type of shit. So, like, here's some examples of beta traits: being a nice guy, being available, listening to her problems, providing for her, loving your mommy, all that type of shit. Alpha traits are dominant, attractive traits that turn women on. So, here's some examples of that: just being hot, right? Having a good body, looking good, having an attractive face, being confident, having high status, dating other women and seeing them, and also loving your mommy. Because honestly, like we all got to love our moms, whether you're beta or alpha, we all got to show love to our mothers. You know what I mean? Women may date a man with beta traits, but they are never attracted to him. You got to understand that, okay? She keeps him around because he's submissive to her, but she doesn't respect him or desire him. So we know how this goes. Usually the girl will mess around with the alpha guys, and once she's ready for a guy to start taking care of her, paying the bills for her, and she's ready to, quote, settle down, she'll go deal with this guy, but she's not attracted to him. And she's always thinking about those other guys that she had in the past. That was the fun time, right? Now she's just settled for this guy who's just not really doing it for her, but he's stable in these ways. And so she keeps him around. This dynamic makes a lot of men angry, but men are the same way. We've got wifey traits and hot traits. Instead of beta and alpha, we have wifey and hot. You see what I'm saying? Wifey traits are things like a woman who cooks, cleans, doesn't dress provocatively. There's no drama. She has good values. These are all things that if I said, what are you looking for in a wife? You'd be like, I want these traits. But then we've got hot traits, right? And this is things like her body, her face, her hair, the femininity, her seductive nature, right? Like we might say we want a woman who doesn't dress provocatively, but when it comes to hot traits, a woman who does dress provocatively is actually what turns us on. You see how that works, right? And so we've got this conflict in our head going on as well, where there's things that we find useful and valuable in a long-term partner, but they just don't turn us on, right? Cooking food doesn't actually turn a man on. You know what I mean? We just find that useful and nice. Men find wifey traits useful in a long-term partner, but they aren't turned on by them. An unattractive woman cooking a mean chicken pot pie doesn't suddenly make her a 10. You see how that works, right? There's just this shit that we want it, but it doesn't actually turn us on. You get what I mean? In our perfect world, we find a woman who has hot traits and wifey traits, but if we had to pick, we'd rather just have the hot traits and DoorDash the food, right? Like if we have to pick, we're going to take the hot chick and we will just call Uber Eats if we need dinner. And we'll just be like, fuck it. I don't care. This chick's hot, right? That's how we do it. Women are the same way. Like women would rather have a man who was a good man, but also an alpha guy. But the odd thing about it is those two things are usually in conflict with each other. But they want a guy who turns them on, but is also a good long-term partner. That would be their perfect world. But if they have to pick, they're going to pick the guy who turns them on. And men are the same way. And so you got to understand how this dynamic works is that both sexes are in this situation where we've got traits we find useful and we've got traits that we find attractive. And you want to position yourself so that you are on the attractive side of the spectrum because it puts you in the higher status position. It means that you deal with less drama. It means that everything comes to you on your terms. When you're dealing with it on the useful side, you have to be constantly providing value to this person just to let them keep you around. Whereas if you're just on the hot side of things, then it's like she wants you around regardless. Do you understand how that works? The thing you need to take away from this video is that both men and women have traits they find useful in the opposite sex, and they have traits that turn them on. Your goal is to position yourself based on what you want, focusing on beta traits, and you will probably get a wife once she's done messing with the alpha guys. She's never going to be attracted to you, though. She'll just find you useful. Right? Like the 30-year-old guy who listened to what the system told him to do and was just like, be a nice guy and your ship will come in and someday a girl will be interested in you. And she ends up with, and he ends up with a girl who's got like a 20 body count, and she was messing around with all the hot dudes in her early 20s. She's got some like crazy like tape of her at a frat party when she was in college. She's got all this drama and baggage around her, and now he's dealing with her. It's like she's keeping him around out of pure convenience. He's providing something to her that makes her think this is useful. He's buying things for her. He's taking care of shit so that she can be a stay-at-home mom now and gets to LARP like she's a traditional woman, as if she wasn't playing around her whole 20s. You see how this kind of thing works. She's not attracted to him. She just finds him useful. You're like the fat chick who cooks and cleans. Like if you're an absolutely desperate, down bad man, maybe you take a girl who cooks and cleans, but you're not attracted to her at all. But you're never going to be attracted to her. You just find her useful, okay? Or you can focus on alpha traits and you can be the guy she's texting WYD to at 1 a.m. It's like, really, you just need to think about what do you want to prioritize. It's the same with women, right? Honestly, a woman can hit the gym and make sure she looks really pretty, and she's going to have a fantastic life. Or she can spend that time, doing some like prude shit and, doing stuff that we would consider wifey traits. And I'm saying like more power to you if you want to do that stuff. But real talk, like if you're an unattractive woman who's got wifey traits, you're not going to get the guy you really want. The same way if you're a beta man, you're not going to get the kind of woman you want. You need to focus your energy in the right locations. And for some reason, the system has told you to go out and focus on all these beta traits, being fucking Prince Charming and all this type of shit. And this just gets you left on red. It gets you disrespected. You don't get what you want out of life. You need to focus on the right kinds of traits. You need to focus on the right areas. You need to be focusing on being an attractive guy who just does it for her. And when you position yourself like that, that is how you get what you want out of life. But if you're too busy focusing on being a nice guy and being reliable and doing all these provider type, beta male type traits and all this shit, you're just going to be like a fat chick who cooks and cleans. So don't hate the game, guys. Just learn how to play it. And if you want to be the alpha guy, you need to learn how to become the guy that she tells you not to worry about. And I made an entire video explaining how to do this. You can click it. It's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.